Well, the US has sent a small team of troops to Nigeria, which marks the first acknowledged presence of American forces on ground since US launched airstrikes last Christmas.
For the first time in Nigeria's modern history, the United States has officially confirmed that American military personnel are operating on Nigerian soil. This is not a rumor, not speculation, and not a leak. It is a confirmed strategic reality. And while the announcement was delivered in the calm, measured tone typical of military briefings, the political and national implications are anything but calm. General Dagvin R.M. Anderson, the senior U.S. commander overseeing American military operations across Africa, revealed that a small U.S. team has been deployed to Nigeria. According to him, they bring unique capabilities to assist in combating terrorism, a phrase that sounds technical, neutral, and restrained, but carries enormous strategic weight. The general did not disclose how many troops are involved, where they are stationed, what operations they are conducting, or how long they plan to remain. But sometimes, silence speaks louder than words. In international politics, what leaders refuse to clarify often matters more than what they confirm. This announcement marks a turning point, not just in Nigeria's war against terrorism, but in the country's sovereignty, its military independence, and its relationship with foreign powers. The question now is no longer if Nigeria needs help, but what it means that help has arrived in uniform from abroad. Before we continue, this is a passionate appeal. Analytics from YouTube show that 93% of those who watch BrainSpot Media haven't subscribed to BrainSpot Media. When you subscribe and like this video, you help BrainSpot Media to grow and help this video reach a wider audience. Please like this video, subscribe, comment your thoughts, and share. Thank you. Let's continue. This development did not happen suddenly. It is the result of months, if not years, of quiet strategic escalation. As early as late November, American surveillance aircraft had begun flying missions over Nigerian airspace, launching from bases in neighboring Ghana. These aircraft serve as high-tech reconnaissance platforms, gathering intelligence on militant movements, safe houses, training camps, and cross-border supply routes. In essence, the United States had already been watching Nigeria's insurgency from the sky long before boots touched the ground. Then came Christmas Day, a symbolic and politically charged moment. On that day, U.S. warplanes launched airstrikes on positions Washington identified as Islamic State-linked militants in Sokoto State. The strikes reportedly killed multiple fighters, and President Donald Trump signaled that the operation might not be a one-time event. The message was clear. America was no longer just observing Nigeria's war, it was becoming part of it. What began as intelligence sharing evolved into aerial operations. And now, it has expanded into physical presence on Nigerian soil, a step that fundamentally shifts the balance of involvement. A former American official, speaking anonymously, suggested that the U.S. personnel are deeply embedded within intelligence operations, assisting Nigerian forces in identifying, tracking, and neutralizing terrorist-linked networks. Think of it like this. At first, America was watching the game from the stands. Then it began reviewing game footage. Then it started giving strategic advice. Now, it has stepped onto the field itself. This shift means that decision-making, operational planning, and battlefield tactics may increasingly involve foreign military influence. And once a foreign power begins shaping internal security operations, sovereignty becomes a more complicated concept. Nigeria's defense minister, Christopher Musa, confirmed the presence of American troops, but offered almost no additional detail. His restraint speaks volumes. For Abuja, this is a politically sensitive issue. Accepting foreign military assistance, especially from a global superpower, can easily be perceived as an admission of failure. It risks sending a message that Nigeria is no longer fully capable of managing its own internal security. It is like admitting you need outside help to protect your own home. And while governments often cooperate militarily, the optics of foreign troops physically operating inside national borders can stir public anxiety, political criticism, and historical trauma. Nigeria's leadership now walks a delicate tightrope. Reject foreign involvement and risk being seen as ineffective, or accept it and risk being seen as dependent. To understand why this moment carries such weight, one must understand the scale of Nigeria's crisis. The Islamist insurgency in Nigeria's northwest and northeast has lasted nearly 18 years. That is longer than many Nigerians alive today have been adults. Entire communities have grown up knowing nothing but fear, displacement, and insecurity. Groups like Boko Haram and Islamic State West Africa Province, ISWAP, have evolved rather than weakened. They have adapted to military pressure, expanded into criminal enterprises, refined recruitment networks, and built financial pipelines through kidnapping, smuggling, and extortion. Military convoys, once symbols of government authority, have become targets. Villages that once thrived now sit abandoned. Parents fear sending their children to school. Farmers fear working their own land. This conflict has reshaped daily life. Markets close early. Roads become dangerous. Migration increases. Hope drains slowly. And after nearly 2 decades, the question remains painfully unresolved. Why has Nigeria still not defeated this insurgency? Let's be honest and uncomfortable. Nigeria is Africa's most populous nation, rich in oil, human talent, and economic potential. Yet it now requires foreign soldiers to assist in containing a domestic security crisis. This is not a reflection of Nigerian soldiers' bravery, because many have fought courageously, often under-equipped and under-supported. The deeper issue lies in governance failure. Corruption has drained defense budgets. Procurement contracts have enriched elites instead of strengthening troops. Intelligence agencies have struggled with politics, rivalry, and inefficiency. Coordination among security forces has often been fragmented. Young Nigerian soldiers sometimes face extremists with outdated weapons, insufficient ammunition, and poor logistics, while officials responsible for military funding retire into comfort far from the battlefield. American involvement, therefore, is not just military, it is symbolic. It signals that Nigeria's internal systems have failed to deliver effective security on their own. President Trump has repeatedly framed Nigeria's violence as persecution against Christians, calling it an existential threat. Nigerian officials have pushed back, arguing, correctly, that Muslims and Christians alike are victims of terrorism. But whether religiously framed or not, the core issue remains. Why has the Nigerian state struggled to protect any of its citizens, regardless of faith? The debate over religious framing can distract from the deeper failure, the inability to secure communities and enforce law and order across vast regions. Beginning in late October, President Trump issued repeated warnings about Nigeria. He threatened stronger intervention if Abuja failed to act decisively against violence. This placed Nigeria in a diplomatic trap. Reject U.S. pressure and risk international criticism. Accept U.S. involvement and risk national embarrassment. Nigeria chose acceptance, a decision that suggests the leadership views the situation as increasingly dire. It is like a proud household finally admitting it needs help to manage a crisis. Painful, but perhaps unavoidable. For insurgents, this changes the battlefield. They now face an opponent with advanced satellite intelligence, superior surveillance technology, precision strike capabilities, elite special operations expertise. Hiding becomes harder, movement becomes riskier, planning becomes more dangerous. American technology can track patterns, intercept communications, and predict movements in ways local forces struggle to match. This could weaken militant networks, but it could also push them to evolve further. For civilians, the emotions will be complex. Some will feel relief, hoping foreign involvement brings safety. Others will feel concern, fearing sovereignty loss or unintended consequences. Many will feel cautious, remembering that foreign troops in Africa have not always left quickly or peacefully. History teaches that external military involvement often brings both stability and new complications. This moment should serve as a mirror for Nigeria's leadership. Foreign soldiers can assist tactically. They can provide intelligence. They can strengthen short-term operations. But they cannot fix corruption. They cannot reform governance. They cannot rebuild trust between citizens and the state. They cannot replace political accountability. Those responsibilities remain firmly Nigerian. The insurgency did not thrive because Nigerians lacked courage. It thrived because institutions were weakened. Budgets were mismanaged. Accountability was avoided. Leadership failed to match responsibility. American troops can help temporarily, but only Nigeria can solve Nigeria's deeper crisis. The final question remains, will this moment become a wake-up call? Or just another dependency? A turning point? Or another chapter in a long tragedy? The Americans have arrived. What happens next will define Nigeria's political credibility, military future, and national pride. This could mark the beginning of reform, or it could mark a slow erosion of sovereignty. The difference lies in leadership, and in whether Nigeria chooses to fix its internal failures instead of relying on external rescue. The world is watching, and history is being written. If you like this video, please help BrainSpot Media to grow and reach a wider audience. Subscribe to this channel, turn on the notification bell, smash the like button, comment your thoughts, and share this video. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video.